Welcome. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Lions Daily, man. Wednesday edition of Lions Daily. Just talking Lions news. That's what we do over here. And it's officially official. The offseason feels like it's officially begun. Well, I guess workouts. The offseason's begun for a while, but like we're officially rolling now. OTAs kick off today. A 3-day stint of OTAs, and they'll have a little break, then they'll be back to it. But only one day is actually open to the media, and that's Friday. So I don't know how much we're actually going to get outside of Friday in terms of updates. I mean, we get a little bit of what the Lions post, and that might be it. I'm wondering if I don't know how this usually works. I'm wondering if someone like that works for the Lions is going to drop some like, oh, here's my takeaways. I feel like we're going to get that at some point. I haven't found that yet, but I feel like at some point we might get something like that. So we might get a little bit. We'll just have to stay patient. But we did get a video so far before we went live here today, and we have. I don't even know if I want to call this takeaways, but we got like a little something. All right, we saw a little bit, so we're going to talk about that. But also, I thought this was the best opportunity, it being a Wednesday show, because we don't do a show on Thursday, that we are going to list, and I called it 5, but it's really 6. These are going to be the things that I'm watching for as we roll into OTAs, man. These are the things that I want to hear about, right? Because for one, trenches are going to be very difficult to get any takeaways from when we get to this spot. 2, I always struggle with this because I'm always trying to just give my takes, right? But you have to lean on other people in this spot, and that's great. We got great people that cover this, so it'll be fine. But I try not to like over take away from these things because I'm not actually seeing it. I'm just reading it. So because of that, it's hard to judge all of this, but we mainly are going to probably get notes on what it looks like from the skill positions, like receivers, DBs, safeties. I mean, linebackers, maybe get something there, tight ends, running backs, like the skill positions. That's what we're going to hear from. In terms of trenches, I don't know how much we're actually going to gather from this. But before we get into the list of things that I'm going to keep my eye on, we got to start with what we know so far. And it's not a lot. But from the video, here's what we were able to gather so far from what it looks like for the Lions. And I'm gonna pop up some images that y'all will see here as well while we're just chatting. So what we know so far. So first off, according to the video, it looked like Rocky Sin had an interception. I think that's what happened. Now, I will focus on that here for a second, but it looked like he was covering Jamison Williams. You could see it looked like Zach Corton was also on the field. So I don't know. I guess they were just like mixing guys in. It didn't feel like a team of ones necessarily. It felt like they were just kind of mixing guys in and out there. But it looked like Zach Corton had the interception. Or Zach Corton was on the field as well. And then we also saw on the field it looked like Cunningham. I mean, we haven't seen Cunningham yet. So it looked like Cunningham was on the field. And he was wearing 52. He's not listed, but he's wore 52 in the past, so I would assume it was Cunningham on the field, as well as Trevor Nowaski. So it feels like it was much more of like a second or third team type of defense. And it looked like Rocky Sin took the football away. I think that's officially what happened is Rocky Sin took the football away. So that was a takeaway, I guess, that he got an interception. It looks like it was Kyle Allen, who was the quarterback, that threw the interception. I think the only clips that we had today, that we were actually able to see the quarterback, was Kyle Allen as the quarterback. That was the only clips that we got to see is Kyle Allen throwing the football. And he threw like an out route that looked like it was behind, in terms of just timing, just getting out late to Laporta. But it was caught, and that was on Dan Jackson. And that's going to be one of the things that we talk about is kind of the safety position to see what that looks like. So right there, that's the Rocky Sin. It looks like the Rocky Sin interception, maybe on like some sort of hook route or something, and he takes it back the other way. You can see with the guys on the field, looks like more of a third team defense. The Zach Corton on offense just threw me off. Just seeing him run down the field, like, what the heck, doesn't fit. But I guess, I don't know. He's someone to keep an eye on, though. One of the UDFA signings at tight end. And I'm telling you, I think tight end I think there's a lot of openings there. Legitimately, I think that could be the one position that we walk away from where, like, maybe we shouldn't have been surprised that one of these guys snuck in and just found a way. Like Kenny Yeboah wasn't a guy, it was Zach Horton. It was something kind of weird there, but someone stood out. Someone made the name for themselves in these opportunities, and they just find a way to sneak it to the roster. Tight end feels like the legitimate place to do that. Outside of that, again, we saw the Laporta just right there. We saw the out route that he had on Dan Jackson. Looks like Jackson got beat pretty well in that out route. That's going to be something to look for because Dan Jackson's not great in man coverage, and we've seen that back in college, right? And you see it at the top of the route was a huge problem for him at Georgia. I want to see if that translates better. We'll get to that here in a second. And then also they showed Dominic Lovett, and this is the other one that I had notes from because Dominic Lovett here, right, we're like, for me, I'm going to be looking for how he catches the ball away from his body, specifically, like how is he going to catch the ball away from his frame? So we'll get to that. But seeing a reception like this, as basic as it is, it kind of got me excited, like seeing the focus, the way that he watched the ball into his body. Focus was hit and miss in college based on defenders around him. No defenders here, so his focus should be there, and it was. And then the hand technique was good, right? The ball was behind him. The hand technique was good. He got his feet down in bounds, which he's always been capable of doing. So those were the three like main takeaways for me from just a little bit that we got. We saw a lot of JMO, which is understandable. And then outside of Outside of that, we saw Aiden Hutchinson moving around. Hutchinson was doing his thing, but the crazy thing about Hutchinson is, so we know like he's cleared, right? And he's gonna be working through that, but he's wearing like a compression sleeve on his leg. He's not even wearing a brace. He's wearing a compression sleeve on his leg. It's insane. Like I don't know. It just feels crazy that that's where he's at right now, that he's just like, I just put on a little sleeve and I'm good to go. It's nuts, but it's great to see. And it looks like he's going to be at least on a really good schedule. By the time we get to the season start, I would assume he's going to be in a really good spot if he's already ramped up to that point where, he said in one of the interviews or one of the pressers, like, I'm out there with the guys right now, right? And he's been just fired up to get back to it. We also know that we have a joint practice assigned with the Texans. I think that was already known, but I guess it's like officially official now. Like we're going to be having a joint with the Texans. So those are the few things that we have a good sense on right now. Now, and that's really all that we got from today's clips. But with that in the rear view now, and we'll see if we get more on that. We'll probably get more information, things that we can dive into, maybe even more on Friday. Before we get, I want to transition now. And I think this is the best opportunity to just talk about what we want to see, things that we're just fired up to see or hear, because we may not see a lot of this. We may hear about some things, especially on Friday. Sounds like we may hear about a lot of things on Friday. So I want to talk about the things that I'm specifically looking for, the things that I want to hear about. I just want to know, I just want to know how some of these things are shaking out. So let's go right there. And the first position, because again, I think the focus has to be on the skill positions. The first thing that I want to focus on here is the receiver position. Now, I don't want to just say the receiver position, but specifically the two rookies. Now, I think this is arguably the strongest receiver group. It could be the strongest receiver group we've had. I think if it hits its peak, it's definitely the best receiver group that we've had, but it's got a legitimate chance, like immediately, to be the deepest receiver room that we've had as we're working through the offseason, as we're going through OTAs, we're going through these organized team activities, and we get to training camp. This receiver room is loaded on paper, and it's in comparison to what we had in the past. You think about in the past, we would add Trinity Benson. Y'all remember adding Trinity Benson after all the offseason things. Last year, Tim Patrick was added after all of these workouts. He was added on April 27th to the Lions practice squad, and eventually he was brought up to the active roster for the regular season. The Lions have multiple times went the free agent route after it ended, or in the case of Benson, went through a trade to add another piece to that room. This time around, I don't think, number one, that's going to be necessary. It could be an option, right? I mean, if it makes sense, if a guy's just chilling there, it's like, oh, that guy's great, let's go get him. But ultimately, like, they are loaded in terms of depth, and I think this is the deepest that it's been. So for me, the focus has to be starting off with is the two rookies, because I do think they're both going to make the team. Lovett obviously has a much higher uphill climb. I mean, he was picked 244. So there's a legitimate chance he doesn't make the team. He's going to have Bell on special teams. I just think he does. I think he's a really good special team. I think he's going to be a great gunner. I think you could start him as a gunner right away, and I think he'd be impactful. We'll see how that shakes out. He just, to me, has to be a consistent pass catcher. As long as my big thing for Lovett, I think, is Lovett's a consistent pass catcher in the preseason. Say he gets 4 targets, he catches 4 of them, right? Like, as long as he's not dropping passes, I think he's going to make the 53. I think that's all it's going to come down to for me. If he's dropping passes, I think there's a legitimate shot things could open up. But ultimately, I think he's going to make the team, and I think he'll just catch passes. So that's going to be the big thing. Outside of that, and hey, shout out to everybody that's showing love right now, by the way. I'm going to get to those. Y'all know I'm going to get to those. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, okay? I'm going to get to all those. But yes, so yeah, I love it. Specifically, I think he's going to make the team. But the two receivers, and I want to go to Isaac Tesla. So for both these guys, I'm looking for two different things, mainly based on what I saw in college. So when you start with a guy like Dominic Lovett, I talked about catching the ball away from his body. I want to see, even though we're not getting like this kind of normal physicality, I want to see if he can make grabs in contested situations. I want to see things like that. Like, I know he can catch an open pass. Like, I can see that. I know his focus is going to be there. I want to see it when the guy's one-on-one with him, right? When we're going these 9-on-9s or 7-on-7s or these 11-on-11s, I want to see him make some grabs in team drills. I want to see where that gets to. I also would be curious to see his route tree, but specifically the way that he can dial it in, because I felt like he had so much savvy. He had a lot of creativity in what he did in college, but the consistency is not there for the NFL. In terms of, hey, I got to stack on a guy, because he's an incredible athlete. Like, Lovett's a fantastic athlete, but he allows guys back into the play too often. So I want to see if he has that ability to keep, hey, I stack somebody, let me keep him in the rear view mirror, let me set this up, and just hold an NFL type of separation. That's the kind of thing I want to see out of Dominic Lovett. And when you go to the opposite side, you think about an Isaac Tesla, that's a guy for me where I think a lot of things are going to translate early, like the strong hands in traffic, the contested grab. I think all that's going to pop early. He's going to have some flash plays. I think he's just going to have some amazing plays. We're like, oh my goodness, there are going to be some awesome clips. We've already seen him spotlighted a ton. But for him, it's mainly the route tree. I want to see where he's aligned. I want to see how diverse the route tree gets. I want to see how much they attack with him downfield. Like, what's the plan here, right? Because Lovett did a lot of work underneath, so I want to see that get opened up. And I think for Isaac Tesla, I think a lot of things are going to translate. We know they want to work with him getting off the ball. They're probably going to stress that getting off the release, but I want to see all the ways they use him. So both rookies for me, and then you have a receiver room right now in terms of depth where it's like, hey, Ronnie Bell could be on the outside looking in, right? And he probably is. Guys like Ronnie Bell, that's not an untalented player. That's a very good route runner that, to me, well, I'm not saying I think he's going to make the team, but, and I didn't think he was like a great player coming out, right? I had him as a priority free agent. He ended up going into the 7th round. But I did think that Ronnie Bell is very crisp in the way that he runs routes. So at very worst, he's going to give you some immediate, like, oh, okay, this guy's pretty detailed in how he does things. That detail is going to shine. He's not a terrible pass catcher either. So he had some bad drops, but if that shows up in the offseason workouts, it's going to be real competition there. And then you just throw that with 2 UDFA signings. You got Meeks in there, and then you also have Jacoby as well out of UMass, who made some big plays against Georgia specifically. So the whole receiver room, this could be the best it has been. In terms of depth, this could absolutely be the best it has been. Okay, next thing I want to look for. I'm going to go to the defensive backs now. Let's go to the cornerback rotation. I got 2 different things here. I got 2 different takes. And yes, I'm fired up for Rakestraw too. Like, I want to see what Rakestraw is all about. All right, I want to see what I'm a big Rakestraw guy, so I think he's going to cook. We'll see though. But speaking of Rakestraw, the first thing that I want to see, the first thing I want to see is what the rotation looks like at corner. Because when we do get team activity, it's going to be very difficult to get these takeaways in terms of one-on-ones things. But if you're working team activity 7-on-7, 9-on-9, 11-on-11, you can still get alignments. So I want to see, like Rakestraw, they're saying he's going to focus wide. Does he touch the slot at all? Is it wide only, right? Do we get those takeaways? Is it just wide? I want to see DJ Reed. Are they moving him around? Is he settling at right cornerback, and that's the only place that he is? Do they try to push him inside at times? Because I just did the video on Alex Anzalone. I think that's a really interesting thing to look at long-term. Not as much even for this year, but long-term, that could be not like his main spot, but it's like you're not going to take him off the field. So that flexibility could help us a lot. And then and I have more explanation on that. And then also Amik Robertson, is he playing inside, outside? Are they just sticking him at slot? And that's your position. Let's see what that turns into. Those guys, I just want to see where they're taking snaps at, right? I just want to see that. I know Terran's going to be on the field. And then in terms of the depth here, this is one of those positions that to me is one of the strongest unknowns. I think there's a real spot open at the back end of the roster for cornerback. I think there's legitimate openings here. And to me, this has some of the biggest unknowns for who's actually going to end up making the back end of this roster, because we saw Rockison. It looks like he had an interception today. That's a good start for him, it seems like. So you have that, but you have Gavin Holmes, who's the UDFA out of Texas, that didn't play much in college, but, especially his last year, but he showed a lot of the skill set that was like, this looks like an NFL cornerback. And then also Thomas Oliver, who we haven't seen much as Lions fans really at all. Cleo Dorsey got the 2-year deal, but there's not a lot of money there. So that's a bunch group. That's a very bunch group. Can somebody show flexibility, right? We've seen Dorsey playing it now. Can someone just stand out in that room? Can Rocky Sin look like the guy that was nearly a first-round pick, but he fits really well, physical, quick twitch? That's kind of his style, not as much long speed. Ultimately, I think that's going to be the group that has clearly like one of the strongest openings for like anybody can win a role here. And there's legitimate spots open really at cornerback 5, especially if they keep more than 5. So cornerback, the depth, but the rotation for the starters is the interesting thing for me. I just want to see where guys align. I think I know who's going to start. I want to see where guys align. Okay. Moving on from that, let's go to the next one. And this one's important. This one's super important with the Alex Anzalone situation. Don't expect to hear anything about him being at like OTAs or something like that. I think, we'll find out more as we get down the road here. But in the meantime, who can cover at linebacker? Let's just keep it as simple as that. Who in the world can cover at linebacker? Now, the fun part about this is we have a lot of different styles that are now in the mix. And some of these guys we just haven't seen a ton. So we waived Abraham Beauplan. That was the move that was alongside the Detroit Lions bringing in Cunningham at linebacker. So they bring in Cunningham, they move off Beauplan, which I was kind of excited to see Beauplan. He had a strong preseason this past year. That's really all we saw of him. He thought he was athletic. He was super aggressive. Like, he would just go. He's clicking close. He's going to fly around. So when you think about this position now, you can start with a guy like Zach Cunningham. You see his coverage upside in the past. I have more questions about him being able to stick with guys in man coverage, but his play style and his skill set resembles a lot of what Alex Anzalone is used for. I don't think it's necessarily across the board at that level, but the skill set is very similar to the way that these two guys are going to play. So you have that with a guy like Cunningham, and I want to see, he might be the guy that stands out in coverage. He probably should. He's the first guy there, especially at his body type. Like, he's going to be a fallback option here, I think, in a lot of ways. But then you go beyond that and you go to like, okay, well, Derek Barnes. What does Derek Barnes look like? Because Derek Barnes missed a lot of time. He was on the up and up. This guy was getting better and better, but he missed a lot of time this past season. Is he still improving in man coverage? How fluid is he there? Because I think he's done a much better job being patient right? His footwork, he doesn't get outplay he doesn't outplay himself. I think that often as much in coverage anymore. So he's got a lot more discipline in the way that he moves around. But do we get a little more fluidity with him? I want to see if that kind of picks up a little bit. How much do they move him around? I mean, they're probably going to be moving around a ton, but in these are the drills. These are the days to see what it looks like in coverage. So I want to see if Barnes continues to take a step there. We got to remember he works a lot over the slot. He's also working a lot on the field side, which means that he has a lot of ground to deal with. So there's a lot of space that he has to be able to move with in coverage. And for him, it's the closing speed that he has, but how smooth is it? How fluid is it? How comfortable is he in different coverage assignments? I want to see where that gets to. And then, of course, you got a guy like Malcolm Rodriguez, who feels like he's kind of the forgotten man in all of this. We're talking about Alex Anzalone. We're talking about Cunningham. But the guy that's just chilling here on the final year of his rookie deal is Malcolm Rodriguez, the guy that everybody loved year one. He was awesome year one. And he's still been really good. Like, he just doesn't start anymore. But he's still really good every time he gets on the field. I think last year was such a strong season for Malcolm Rodriguez that it's got me thinking like at some point we're going to have to do a show just on Malcolm Rodriguez, or at least he's got to be a heavily involved character in one of these shows, because I think Malcolm Rodriguez, for my perception, is kind of a sleeper right now, in the sense that, one, he could be very important depending on how the Alex Anzalone situation shakes out. I mean, if he's not here week one, which I don't think he will, I think he will be, but ultimately, let's just say he isn't, Malcolm could be a very big part of this. Cunningham's fun, but Malcolm's been here, right? You know what to expect of him. And I think the jump that he took last year, specifically in coverage, he got so much better in coverage last season. He was, I think, our best man coverage linebacker that we had, not named Alex Anzalone. So you have that step that he took. You like the way that he plays the run. He's got a weird stoutness, as we know, for a very undersized type of linebacker. He's just freakishly powerful. Malcolm Rodriguez kind of feels like that. Like, Malcolm was always so good and sounded like, oh, he got the right depth. He would cut off routes. But the problem is Malcolm, he's just undersized. And you're like, all right, I don't know how much this is actually going to work here. Malcolm Rodriguez feels like he's kind of the player that's just slipping under the radar, and he's going to get a lot of opportunity early on here. He could be starting some games this season. Obviously, injuries can lead to that. And remember this with Malcolm. Malcolm last season, we saw for a short stint, I thought that he was adequate when he had to play on the ball. When Barnes went out and they're like, all right, we're going to put Malcolm there, and then Malcolm got hurt, which stinks. But the little bit that we saw him there, I was like, all right, I can see how this works, because he's so physical. It's like, I don't want to leave him here. He's not that long, but he's so physical. He doesn't look out of place. I'm going to throw Malcolm Rodriguez as kind of a guy that's just slipping under the radar. And then Deron Gilbert, because as Lions fans, last training camp, there's excitement there. He's a very weird body type. He's built like a safety that's playing linebacker. Number one, I want to see what his body type looks like now. Is he kind of the same build? Did they try to bulk him up a little bit? Does he look like the same guy? And if that is the case, you better be great in coverage. You better, like, the idea of what Ezekiel Turner was going to be last year, like, you have to be real, like, you got to stand out there, because, again, third down usage, at least find some value there. He'll probably be more of a guy that would make the team or stick around because of special teams. But I just want to see what he looks like. Like, does he look like the same guy, or does he bulk up a little bit? I don't know. Like, he's like 215 pounds. I don't think that's going to work, but I'm curious to see it. So I want to hear if we hear something about Deron Gilbert. But for me, it's all about coverage for those guys. That's what these drills are for. That's the focus going to be. Obviously, you could play run lanes, play gaps, those kind of things. We're not tackling each other. Okay, so they're going to do all those things. We're not going to get any takeaways of that. It's not like we're going to get notes on like, yo, you filled that B gap really well. Did y'all see that? Like, we're not going to get none of that. We're not going to get any of that. But we're going to see him in coverage. So for me, I'm focused on the coverage, all the notes that we get from that position. Okay, number 4. This is a big one. We got to put this one in here. Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, man. I want to see where this goes, right? So last year was really his first season, or first full season for the Lions, and he got really good in the preseason, like to this extent where he made preseason fun to watch, if we're being honest. Like, preseason's great. You get to see all the young guys, but offensively, we've had some challenges. We've had offensively some drives that, it gets a little stale. You're like, all right, we're not really moving the ball. You get pretty fired up when you have a completion. And then all of a sudden, in came Hendon Hooker, and it was like, wait a minute, this guy's crazy. He was just so athletic. He looked way too athletic for everybody on the field at times. And if you think about it, last season, he completed 29 passes on 44 targets. That's a solid percentage. What is that? That's I'm trying to do math in my head right here. That's just under 66%. I think it's just under 66%. So I can ride with that, probably about 65%. That could be way off, but I think it's on point. 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, just under 7 yards per attempt. The numbers are fine. He also finished pretty strong, but then he also had, alongside that, an 83 pass rating. One game was over 100, had the pick on the last game, so that dropped it. But then he also, this past season, or in last year's preseason, averaged 7.3 yards per carry. We know he's trying to run dudes over. He's getting himself hurt, but he averaged 7.3 yards per carry. He also ran the ball 19 times in the preseason for 138 yards. So he was gifted last season. It was just, it felt like it took a second to dial it in. Like, he would get out there and it's like, all right, he's airmailing some passes. I don't know where that ball's going. And then it might dial in a little bit, but he was so fun to watch. He's electrifying last year. And now you just get the excitement of, okay, number one, what does it look like in the John Morton offense, right? We want to know what it looks like with Goff in the offense, but there's going to be bumps, right? It's definitely going to be bumps because it's like, oh, it's new. But I don't think the scheme is going to be a problem for Goff. I think it's just going to be, I think it's going to be similar. Two, I don't think the route concepts are going to be like, wow, what the heck is this? Goff's going to be thrown off. Like, no, all these route concepts are Jared Goff's play style. If anything, I just like the fact that we're going to get shots out quick to really help him kind of expand some of the vertical passing game, because that's kind of what John Morton does. It's also what we saw David Shaw do at Stanford with Tanner McKee. That said, though, for Hendon Hooker, what does that look like? Because Hendon Hooker is coming from an offense at Tennessee, was these super wide splits, right? It was a lot of RPO offense, which is also what David Shaw did. And I don't think we're going to see that as much, but we could see it with Hendon Hooker because he can take off, right? But David Shaw was a part of that. Obviously, Harbaugh had that in their offense too. And you go back to Colin Kaepernick. So I think about that style of offense. I think about how it could translate to Hendon Hooker, the quick processing, decision making, maybe not overly complicated for him, but the it's on him. Like, it's on him to make the right decisions. It's going to be still progression based. We got to make fast decisions, and let's lean into your athleticism. I want to see what this looks like for Hooker. So I think this could fit really well. This could be a great fit for Hooker. And again, like, I don't want to say he's like forgotten, but because he's not forgotten. Like, you need your backup quarterback, and Kyle Allen's here. And I like that addition too. But like, I loved Hendon Hooker coming out, right? So I just want to see what it turns into. I'm not like off the Hendon Hooker train because it's like, oh, he's not starting yet. What's happening? Like, the more you think about it, and I even sat back today and it's like, dude, it's a quarterback. Like ultimately, I don't know what it's going to turn into. And I've always been consistent. Like, I don't care if he doesn't play. Like, to be honest, I'd rather just have a good backup quarterback. But ultimately, like, the amount of time that he's missed, the offense that he was coming from, which was pretty strange, even though he played a lot in college, you should kind of expect this. And then you start thinking about the other teams in the league with the Packers, things like that, like how long they settle down their quarterbacks before they even get a shot. This just makes sense. And this could be a really good opportunity for him to take a big jump this year, just in terms of consistency and accuracy as a passer, because clearly he is a freaky athlete. So I'm just pumped up to see what this looks like. He's going to add a lot of juice to preseason. All right, number 5. We're sticking on the coverage side of things. Let's go to the safety position. At the safety position, I want to see the versatility. There is a lot of, I don't know what the heck we're going to get here. Truly, I think there's a lot of that when you get to the depth. The starters, I'm pretty confident there. Now, I do want to talk about Avonte Maddox, because to me, Avonte Maddox, who's mainly played cornerback, but he's played some slot safety snaps, I think he's going to be a safety. The Lions have talked about him being a safety / nickel. I think he's going to mainly be a safety, because I think that will help him, especially in a man-heavy defense, because Avonte Maddox is pretty inconsistent matching up with receivers. That can happen. But I love his play style translating to safety, especially in zone coverage too, the way he can kind of play on top of routes, movement skills, because over the past 2 seasons, he hasn't been great in man coverage, but he's allowed, it just hasn't been a lot there, but it's been at cornerback, so it's different at safety. And I do think, again, he's another guy that he could find real third down value. Think about it, the Lions use a lot of 3 safety sets. They're one of the teams that will do that on third down. I think Avonte Maddox is right in that discussion as well to do the similar thing this year, especially if you don't have Alex Anzalone, which, again, I don't want to keep bringing that up, but it's possible. And I think Maddox could be the third safety. And I think that his role is going to transition just like it did with CD Deuce, right? CD Deuce came in, he was a big nickel, and he went to safety. He was like, oh, well, why is he doing that? Well, his safety film with Philadelphia was really strong. So it's actually not that surprising. I think Avonte Maddox didn't have the same safety film because he doesn't have as many snaps there, but his skill set translates. I think we're going to see a lot of similarities in how these guys can be utilized. And for me, I just want to see how that translates to this defense, because he could be a guy that actually serves a very realistic role for the Lions early on. Not as a starter, but he could get snaps just for certain down and certain packages defensively. But for the rest of the safety position, versatility is key. They asked our safety coach. They asked our safety coach, what are you looking for between the safeties? And his number one thing was versatility. We want guys that are versatile. Well, that's what we need to find out. And we're going to have an opportunity to find out, because for me, for most of these guys, I don't really have a lot of questions about can they play the run or are they willing to. Like Ian Kennelly, there's a lot that I just want to see what it looks like, but I'm not really concerned like, oh, will he stick his nose? And like, this dude was a thumper in college. He's a massive human being at safety. So I'm not super concerned about that. I want to see his angles be there and stuff, but physically speaking, he'll be fine as a run defender. But guys like Ian Kennelly, who it's like, we're not matching up with NFL talent where he played. Like, we're just not getting that in coverage. He played over the slot. He played some man, but what does that look like? Can he move? Can he stick with guys? Does he have some fluidity? I want to see Dan Jackson get better there. Like, how far off is it? Can we get to a point where we feel comfortable with it? Because I think in zone, he can excel. He can excel because he's so disciplined. And I did my video on him. I talked about that. Like, I think that his reliability is going to stem from the fact that he's going to be where he's supposed to be, right? He's not going to just wander. He's going to be where he's supposed to be. It's just, can we get more playmaking out of that? So do we get playmaking out of Dan Jackson in the preseason? Does he tap into something that we didn't consistently see at Georgia? Eric Hallett, that guy has been built to play in coverage with a really good body type, but he's got the movement skills to play in coverage well. We just got to see it now. So this is the opportunity to do that. Mo Norris was similar to me and Dan Jackson in the sense that I thought he played really fast. He had the great body type to sit in the box. They used him a lot in the box, but I didn't know if there was much man coverage flexibility there. He's been a transition to safety. I don't know how much man flexibility is actually there. So I want to see what that taps into. So for me, all of the safety depth, I just want to see what the versatility is talking about. And then I'm going to throw you guys an honorable mention before we end this. Honorable mention, but I think this is worth noting. Okay, the last thing that I want to throw in here, and we're going to go to the running backs because again, we're talking about the pass game so much. I have to bring this up. Jahmyr Gibbs and Sione Vaki. Like, those are the two dudes I just want to see. Specifically, Jahmyr Gibbs is a lot of fun because he was great last year, right? He was top 5 rushing yards, top 5 receiving yards. You guys know from week 14 on, Jahmyr Gibbs went 30 receiving yards, 83 receiving yards, 45 receiving yards, 46 receiving yards, 31 receiving yards. So he's top 5 on the season, but from week 14 on through the playoffs, he was consistently productive in the passing game. So you have that to the side. He broke out last year in that sense. You have guys that I think are going to continue to implement the passing game to the running backs. I want to see John Morton keep that as an impactful usage. And I think the David Shaw impact has to play a role here where he's making sure that he's getting involved just like CMC was. I know we'll see the Texas routes. I know we'll see those things, but I want to see, like, do they get versatile with it? Do they utilize the advantage of, hey, we're doing a lot of 3-by-1 stuff. Let's make sure that we take advantage of the running back in the pass game, because that can be the X factor in the 3-by-1 set, is that offset running back being able to get in the pass game. Whether that's, hey, we're going to put him in a slot, we're going to leave him in the backfield. Who do you match up with? You keeping the linebacker on him, or are you trying to pull a safety down? That pulls him out of coverage, and all of a sudden that, backside number 3 receiver's he's got room, right? He's got a lot of leverage if he can cross the field. Put J-Mo Speed in the slot, now you got a problem, right? So you can cause mismatch, you can cause problems if you really utilize that piece. And I don't want to see the Lions take a step back there. So I'm actually pretty fired up to see what it's going to look like with this coaching staff, because I think this is the coaching staff to make sure that it continues forward. But now you don't have Scotty Montgomery in that room, who was the receiver coach, but coaching running backs. Now he's our receiver coach. So I just want to make sure that continues to be a huge element. And he took such big steps last year. I thought that was going to be such a huge part of his game when he came out. And I just want to make sure that it continues on that process. The flip side is Sione Vaki. He only had 3 receptions this past year in the regular season, which isn't bad considering the snaps that he had. But he showed such an impact in the preseason and regular season when you just throw him the ball. And there was clearly a confidence. And every time he threw it to him, it felt like good things happened. It's like, all right, he's going to come down with the ball. And then he gets upfield quickly. He's north and south. He's got a very unique running style. So we want to see what that turns into. But for now, the receiving game, I just want to see the receiving element be a factor. We have too many weapons in the backfield to not use that. I think you're missing such a big part of what we have if you're not throwing them the football, especially in this style of an offense. And you can run bubble screens, these guys. Make sure that they're still involved in the game. Make sure they're involved in the passing attack. And I don't want to see either of those guys, kind of fall out of that. I think it's such a unique part of this team. If you think about, like, what are the best mismatches on paper the Lions can create, I think this is maybe the strongest mismatch the Lions can create every week, outside of maybe Laporta, just because of the matches that you can force defenses into to deal with it, and then what that does for everybody else, even if they're not getting the football. So that would be my last little thing that I'm looking for here, and that's kind of it. That's the 5 things that I'm keeping my eye on. Again, a lot of it's passing game related, but that's because of where we're at. I just want to, that's where we're at, right? We're in OTAs, so we're not going to get as much of the other things there. Before we get out of here, I do want to make sure that I didn't miss anything, because again, we only got the 2 video clip highlights. Don't think we've gotten much outside of that. Yeah, we got like some photos and stuff. We didn't really get much outside of that, but guys are out there running around. That's really all we got. So we'll see. Friday, media's available, so maybe we'll get that. We'll definitely have some notes then, but we'll see if we get anything in the meantime. Overall, though, I'm going to leave it there. Bleacher Report, I appreciate y'all joining. We'll be back for Friday when we get some. We'll have some notes, but in the meantime, let me know who you would throw on that list, what you would change, who you're keeping your eye out for. I did consider kicker. I don't think we're going to get any notes from this, but, like, hey, it'd be cool to see what Jake Bates looking like. You know what I mean? Like, it's just easy kicking off the ball. Kickoffs last year were horrendous. So is it going to look good? Jake Bates is fun to watch. Plus, Jake Bates is on the last year of his contract. So, hey, it's a contract year, my guy. And no, he is on the last year of his contract, though. We got to get that done. We got to extend him. So, go get the bag, dog. Hey, kicker's getting paid now. Anyways, we're going to end it over here on Bleacher Report, man. Appreciate y'all joining. I'll see y'all Friday, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. That said, we're going to end it over here. All right. YouTube, got to give a huge shout out in the chat. Bro, y'all did this so early. I felt bad. I was like, I can't really shout it out yet, but I appreciate you, man. Y'all are showing so much love off the jump. KV Alto came in with the 10-piece. KV Alto, it's great to see you, man. I've been KV Alto, man. I was like, where's KV Alto been? I just haven't seen him in the chat. I haven't seen that C in the chat. I feel like it's been a minute. All right, maybe that's not me, though. I haven't been as live as much recently. But either way, KV Alto, man, I appreciate you being here. And he comes in, he drops a 10-piece. So if y'all got a membership from KV Alto, man, make sure you show some love. That's crazy. He shows way too much love in here, man. It's crazy, man. I really appreciate you. And then my man Connor Long came in and followed that up. Connor, you ain't got to do all this, my guy. I ain't got to do all this. Connor Long. Hey, go check out my guy Connor Long too. Go check out my man Connor Long here. But he comes in, shows some love, and he became a member. So y'all were throwing love around as soon as this thing jumped off. And I was like, well, dang, I don't know what to do. I mean, I want to shout it out, but y'all are gonna have like, you know what I mean? Y'all did it too early, okay? But I appreciate it, man. That was great. That was it threw me off. Y'all threw me off rhythm a little bit at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like trying to read them, and at the same time, I was like, shoot, I'm forgetting I'm not even looking at my paper anymore. I'm all over the place. That happens. See, that's the difference, man. When I'm recording, I'm just cutting that out. We sitting here live, man. I'm just like forgetting what I'm talking about. I was talking about our tight end on defense. I'm like, that's not right. I don't know. Anyway, and now Visionary Roar showing love. All right, y'all gotta do all. I don't even know. Did you put an image? Visionary Roar with two pieces. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Now y'all going crazy today. Hey, OTAs, man. I pray. we got to get something back. We got to get something back for it. Oh my gosh, Visionary Roar, did you just drop a third piece? I don't know if this is glitching or you just in here dropping two pieces like that. What? Hey, let's get some birthday cakes in the chat for Visionary Roar. Let's just spam them up. You know what I mean? For my guy Visionary Roar, for Connor Long, for KV Alto. Let's get some birthday cakes. I think he's dropped the fourth one. No, this guy's going crazy. Okay. All right. What's happening? All right. Let's get some birthday cakes, man. Spam them in the chat. It's just showing his name on the screen. Let me see if I got something. I'm gonna have to get some prepared for this because I'm I wasn't prepared for this, man. All right. No, that's not gonna work. Maybe I don't play that. I don't really have anything that's great to play right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't got anything that's great to play right now. There you go.
You're tripping.
That's what we got. I don't know. that's what we got. You're tripping, bro. By the way, I ain't gonna do that. But hopefully, you know what I'm saying? You're broke now. Now you're doing too much, bro. You dropped 5 of those. y'all doing too much, bro. You dropped 5 of those. I'm surprised YouTube let you do it that fast, to be honest with you, man. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy for that, man. Yeah, let's get some birthday cakes in the chat, though, for showing some love, man. That's crazy. All right. Let me get this popped up, man. Yeah, we'll hang around here for a minute. Because, I haven't really seen anything, like, from a news thing. I got to get, like, a clip or something that we can roll. Like, I've seen other people have clips. Y'all see I got the overlays now, though. We got the logo. We got the X logo is cool when I block it, but when I don't, it doesn't look right. It looks kind of good. I like that a little bit. I'm going to throw my TikTok on there, man. So I had an old TikTok, but I just started a new one. I was inspired. Some of the other creators like, yo, you got to get on TikTok, you got to drop your stuff. I don't use TikTok. So I'm not gonna get on TikTok, but they're like, nah, you got to do it. So I'm on it now. They hit me up immediately. They're like, yo, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, dude. So I think I saw Connor on there. So yeah, I'm on TikTok now. What is my name? I think it's just Dose D on 2.0. I have to check, but I'm going to throw that on the screen at some point too. I know we don't want to keep talking about the situation, but if Anzalone actually does hold out, what's his trade value? Probably just a 5th tops. Yeah, I don't think it'd be super strong, right? Like, I don't know, honestly, because, like, who needs a linebacker right now? Like, is there a lot of teams that don't have a linebacker right now that has, like, a starting hole at linebacker? I feel like it would be a good team. Like, a good team would make that trade. I don't know, bro. Like, like maybe San Fran? Like, could San Fran do that? I think a team like San Francisco could make sense, right? Because don't they have D Winner starting? And then they moved off of Dre Greenlaw. But, like, the thing is with this, though, too, Anzalone, and here's the thing about this whole linebacker, like, these dudes are getting paid now. Like, it's gotten to the point where linebackers that have good production are getting legitimate money. And even if coming off injuries, like Dre Greenlaw, he played well in limited snaps, but he's had the injury problems. That dude made some, like, solid money this offseason. Linebackers are getting paid double digits. If you're a good linebacker, you're getting paid now. So I think Anzalone's easily going to hit double digits. Maybe a team like that lost a backer that would, I don't know if they should have the money to do it, but that'll take you back to that conversation that everybody talks about when you're acquiring dudes. It's like, okay, we've made the trade, but now making that trade to make it make sense, we're going to have to extend him because that's why he's holding up the lines first place. Because I don't know this to be true, but I assume that Anzalone doesn't have interest in just leaving. It's the deal. He just wants the extension here. And I think it's honestly very reasonable. Like, the more I think about the whole Anzalone situation, I get it. Like, I absolutely get why he's like, yo, I want to, like, extend me. What are we doing here? Because he's so key for who the Lions are. He really is. Like defensively, he's an identity piece, I think, of who the Lions are defensively. And also just looking at the salary cap, like I can understand like throwing out names like Dre Greenlaw. Well, you can see those guys getting paid, and you're like, wait a minute, I need to get an extension here. Like if these dudes are getting paid, like I understand I'm under contract, but I feel like I've put my time in, and also on top of that, specifically, like these other dudes like, they're getting their money too. And it's like I can understand where he feels like he's in the spot. And I don't know what he's looking for. If he's looking for like 16 a year, then he might be talking crazy. But if it's not even like that, if it's just like I just want to get conversations started here, we're not even having conversations. I just want to make them aware to get something going. Like let's get the ball rolling. If he's just trying to get the ball rolling, I completely get that. Because yeah, like around the league, man, linebackers are getting paid. A lot of these dudes have injury backgrounds. Like remember Alexander did in the past, but I mean the fact that he came back last season, like a lot of us didn't even think, like I don't think we were that sure that he was going to come back. And then he came back week 18. This dude was just playing through stuff. Y'all remember how messed up his arm was? Wasn't it like his arm? Like that thing was like ripped, bro. I was like, how you playing like that? I feel like it's very fair that he's asking for this. And I think if I was in Anzalone's shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. Like I'd probably do the exact same thing, to be honest with you, is sit out. I understand why players do it, but I think for his situation, like uniquely, I'd absolutely do it. You want to stick around here. If the ball's not rolling, if we're not talking, this is the one lever that I can really pull. And I do think from the Lions perspective, I think they're going to be patient. I don't think the Lions are going to rush into anything here. If they are willing to give him a contract extension, I think that they're going to be very patient, and I think they're going to have a number that they're set on. My whole thing is I don't know that the Lions, I'm not completely sure that the Lions have even engaged in those conversations. I have nothing to prove that. It could be a number thing, but my thought is it's not a number thing. It's more so that the conversations haven't even begun. Like the Lions haven't initiated, like, let's see if we can get this deal done. I think that this had to be initiated by Alex because my guess would be there is no conversations that are happening. I think that's where they're at. So I don't think like he'd be looking for a massive deal, but I think that's where it's at. And I think it makes sense from his side, and I think from the Lions side, like you should be patient. But my whole thing is I don't. It's a weird because I truly do think there's pros and not pros and cons, but I do think both sides. Like there's definitely I can make an argument for both sides. I could legitimately make an argument for seeing a case in which the Lions said we don't want to do an extension that's over $10 million per season. Because even on the lighter side, he's making, I think on the light side, he's making at least 10.5 a year. Like on a light extension, probably getting at least 10.5 a year. Somewhere in that range, I would think. I could see a world in which the Lions weren't like necessarily looking to do that. And I don't know. Like it's a weird balance, man. I don't know how it's going to shake out. I guess we'll find out because I do think there's a path. I think there's a world in which they don't pay him. I think there's a world in which they don't pay him. I don't know. And look, it's not easy, man, because it's not like one of these guys that's coming off like a good year and it's like, oh, but he doesn't like he's been such a core piece. Like as a fan, it's difficult to make it make sense. But I could see it. But even saying that out loud sounds crazy. It's like, really? I could see a path in which they're like, oh, we're okay with walking away from this. I don't know, man. And I think he would take a pay cut, to be honest. I just think he wants, I just think he just wants to, stay here. But like for a pay cut, like what is a pay cut for him? Like that's where I'm at with it. Like, I don't think he should ask for $8 million a season because I don't think that's fair, to be honest, to him. And that's where the problem could come into play here is I think there's a path in which both sides just don't align. I don't think for him, he should be asking for $8 million a season. I think that's too light. I think it's too light. But I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's what Barnes got. I just think from his production, it's fair for him to be like, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. And I think the Lions could, unless, I don't know. If he was cool to take $8 a year, I think the deal would get done. I think that would get done. But I could just see a path in which like he's like, I'm set on I need double digits. And the Lions are like, we understand that you need double digits. That's fair. We're just not willing to go there. And it's not like we're just in two different worlds right now. Like I could see that. I don't know. I honestly have no idea how this is going to shake out. I have no idea. I just think it's going to take time. I don't think this is going to happen soon. I don't know, bro. I really don't know. Like, because I think if it was less than $10 million a season, the deal would be done. I think the deal would be done. If he was like, yo, I'll do it for 8.5 a year. Just give me a bump over Derek Barnes, 8.5 a year. We got this deal. Give me 8.5 a year for 2 more years on top of this year. I think they'd do it. I think they would do that deal. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know how this is going to shake out. I'm just not sure where the Lions are at on this because I think the Lions can make a case for both sides. I think you can make a strong case for both sides. You make a strong case that you need him because it's a very easy case to make the case that you need him. There's also I think you can legitimately form a case of like we could find a way to make this work if we don't have him, right? We could find a way to make this work if we don't have him. It's the challenge is more so right now than I think the future. Like that's where the road's path that's where it makes it difficult because like right now you'd love to have him, but I think you could be comfortable like we can figure it out beyond this year. I think we could figure it out this year if he didn't play. I don't know. I think you can make a case for both sides pretty strongly here. We need the money. I think he's gone, and it's like you can find a way to make it work. You could definitely find a way to make it work. The holdup for me and the weird balance of this, and I said in the video real quick. The weird balance for this is the situation of you have Zadarius Smith, who you said you couldn't afford, which was essentially 1 year, roughly $11 million, just under $11 million. That's what you said you couldn't afford. And now it's technically 2 years because of spread, but it was basically a 1 year because it was just void money. And I don't think the Lions were going to extend that. You said you couldn't afford that. So it's different because I think Alex is just looking for multiple years. Like Zadarius, I think would have been cool in 1 year. It's just not enough money. But you saying that you can't afford that, you have to put Alex Anzalone in a completely different bucket of like, no, this guy is significantly more important to what we're going to be over the next few seasons than what Zadarius Smith would mean. The only difference there to me is one guy is you're looking just for a 1 year deal. I don't think Alex is looking, for money. I think he's just looking for multiple years here. I don't know. Derek and Jack they're definitely the future. But I do think I made a very interesting point in that video. And I do think that you have to be realistic with Jack in the sense of I don't anticipate Jack's ever going to be great in man coverage. Forget where we draft. I don't think he's ever going to be great there. And that just is what it is. Like I don't want to expect that, he's got to get better in man. We took him in the first round. Like that's not his game. He's very good at what he's very good at. I hope he gets better. If he became really good at man too, it'd be like, yeah, this is the best linebacker in the NFL. And sure, you got a lot more flexibility. But realistically, I don't expect that. I think that Alex complements him incredibly well. I think those two are fantastic complements to one another. And it's not to say that I think Alex Anzalone is like a top linebacker in football. I think he's in some ways similar to St. Brown for this offense. St. Brown, people will make the case. Now this year, that's changed. But in the past, he wasn't looked at as a top 5 receiver. This year he is, by PFF at least. But for us, he was. Like the way that his style was perfect for us. Like this is perfect for Goff. He's great for us. Like forget what everybody else says is great for us. I think Alex is that for us. Like maybe not everybody else loves him, but for us, it's perfect because it's perfect for Jack. It's perfect for the style we play defensively. His value is much stronger here, I think, than it could be elsewhere. Similar to Derek Barnes. I think his value is very strong here versus where it is elsewhere. And I think a huge part of that too is the point that I made at the beginning of the video, which is, or not the beginning, I made it like 2/3 of the way through, but yeah, towards the back end of the video, where it's like the Lions used a lot of 3 linebackers early last year. And I think that they thought that was their best unit. Is like, hey, we'll use 3 backers. I think that gets them, they feel like that's their best on the field. And not everybody's willing to do that. Like Buffalo wouldn't go trade for Alex Anzalone. I don't think they would. They don't play a 3 linebackers. They don't do it. So it's like, that's where both sides come in. There's one side where it's like Alex is great for this team and he fits really well. But there's the flip side of I think you can make it work without him. I definitely think you can. Because you have Barnes, because he's excelled and improved, and because you have Malcolm, and because now you got Cunningham, and because you have Campbell, you could play less 3 linebackers if you wanted to, and you're not comfortable with all 3 on the field all the time. And I don't think there'd be a significant change in the way that you were successful. The biggest, I think, pushback to that is the run defense. Because the run defense did take a step back, and even though there was injuries as a whole, there is the aspect, too, of you didn't have the bodies to consistently play the packages that you wanted to play early in the year. You just didn't have those dudes anymore. So I think you can make the case for both sides. If you tell me Branch or Alex, I'm choosing Branch. Yeah, I don't think that's an either or, though. I don't think that's an either or. I actually think, and if it is, yes, absolutely Branch. But I do think this, though. Because one, I don't like if Alex was looking for 15 a year, then it is an either or. Like, yeah, we can't give you 15 a year and then pay Branch. That's going to be difficult. But I think that Alex actually complements Branch because Alex, his ability and the trust that they have in Alex, as well as the rest of that linebacker room, makes Branch even more important. Like, Branch is so important to this team at safety when they have all linebackers available because he is asked to do so much. If you constantly are sitting in nickel, while he's super important still and he's still an awesome player at safety, in some ways you can kind of pull back on what everything he needs to do. Brian Branch's value is that the Lions can play base package defensively against teams that are in 3 receiver sets because Brian Branch can go cover your receiver as a safety. And he is maybe the best in football at that because he was a slot corner in college. Like, you can do that. And it's like, all right, this works. So I think that they actually complement each other really well. Expending Hutch, possibly JMO and Branch, but there's also Laporta. There is Laporta too. Now, what do you say? Alex Fitz, the future build does. So to me, those things are going to, it's going to matter on the length. An Alex Anzalone deal would matter on the length, right? If it's 3 years, it gets difficult. It's going to matter on the length of the deal, and it's also going to matter, how fast your out comes in. I struggle to just look at it from okay, you got to pay all these guys, so you can't pay this guy, because there is so much nuance to it, and there's just so much that we don't know, right? We don't know what a deal would look like. Like, we could say 2 years, but we don't know where the numbers hit. We don't know where the cap rises. We don't know when the out comes into play. We just don't know these things. There is ways to maneuver it where you could extend Aiden Hutchinson. Let's say you extend Aiden Hutchinson and you extended Alex Anzalone, where those two contracts don't even overlap. Like, when one peaks, the other one doesn't. You can make that work potentially. And I think when you're seeing these new deals and the way the Lions are starting to at least this year, the Lions structured a lot of deals where 2028 was strong void years, where it's like there's legitimate dead money here now. The Lions didn't do that in the past. It's not insane, but they have legitimate dead money that they push back. If you theoretically kept Alex Anzalone without hitting those numbers, if you made sure his cap hits were significantly before those numbers hit, I think you could find a way to balance those two things. It just depends on how far the Lions are willing to push that rock down the road, basically. Because if they're willing to kind of kick the can a little bit further, they could really try to emphasize these new extensions. They're going to hit heavier on the back end. They got to hit heavy in the back end. The first 2 years, we're going to try to keep those things as low as possible. At very least, maybe one deal, like, 2027, it doesn't spike for Aiden Hutchinson, but it may for JMO, let's say. But there's an offset there that we can fit Alex Anzalone into the fold. There just has to be that to it, but the Lions will have to be willing to kind of push that can a little bit further when you throw like an Alex into the mix. Ultimately, I think he's going to get extended. But I'm not sure. I don't know. And I think he'll get extended. I don't think the deal will be crazy. I think it'll be a couple years on top of what he has, and I think the number will be very, very reasonable. I don't think it'll be surprisingly high. I think it'll be very reasonable. And when it does get done, or if it does get done, I expect that last year is going to be an out. If they can do that within a 2-year deal, that's ideal. The first thing that I would do with Alex is I would guarantee a lot of his contract. Here's what I would do. If I gave him a 2-year deal on top of what he has now, I would put as many guarantees in the first and second year as I could. I try to almost make it so like, hey, 2/3 of this is basically guaranteed, maybe a little more. And I want all of that up front. Like, I want to hit that right now. I want to give your guarantees higher for right now. I want that money in your pocket right now. That way, year 3, I can get out of it. So it's almost like there's a 2-year extension. And I don't know that Alex will be willing to take this, but it's like it's a 2-year extension, but it's really a 1-year extension on top of this year. And if he's willing to do that, I think a deal gets done. Like, if that happens, where it's like, hey, but that next year we can get out, because it's similar to what they did with Montgomery, what they did with Graham Glasgow, even what they have with Decker. They may not move off any of them. They could move off all of them, but they all have that. They all have that within there where it's like, we can get out of this. There is a path to get out once we get towards the back end here. I think if that's how the deal shakes out, the deal will get done. I think it'll get done, and I think that'd be ideal for both sides to make something like that happen. Or at very least, he's locked in for another season. He might be looking for more than that. And if he's like, nah, that's not enough. I need 2 more years locked in. And that 3rd year, maybe I can get moved on. That might make it difficult. That to me would make it difficult. I don't know. I don't think the dollar amount is going to be a problem. I think that would make it difficult for Lions. Is like, if we have to lock him in for 2 years, and that 2 years beyond already this season, and we can't get out of it, I think that would make it difficult, because now we're going to lose so much flexibility in what we can do. It's just about the length. I think two sides. We'll just see if they can. We'll see if they can find a middling point. If they can find a middling point, I think. I don't know. I think it's going to get done. Because I think he wants to be here. What's with Twitter and all the fake reports saying Hutch re-broke his leg? I don't know. I don't know why that's a thing. I haven't seen that. I did see him running around with his. He had his sleeve on. He had his little sleeve on when he was running, which is crazy to me. I don't know. Let me see if I had it up here. Yeah, he's got the sleeve on right here. And it's nuts that he's running with a compression sleeve to me. Like, that's insane. But that's all he's got. He doesn't have a brace on. He's just running with a compression sleeve. It's just going to hold it. But that's it. I mean, there's nothing there. That's crazy. I mean, he's full go, but it's still a ramp up, like, in my opinion. I think he's still got to ramp up. Like, just get comfortable running on it. But if that's the only thing you have in your leg as of now, I feel great about it. But I don't know. Hopefully, let's not do that. What about the do-rag? Who was wearing a do-rag? Was Hutch wearing a do-rag? No, hold up. I didn't see that. Hold up. Now, he's wearing a helmet. Oh, is he? Wait, is that what that is? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Mike Disner gonna have his work cut out for 20. Oh yeah, he's gonna have a challenge, bro. But that's the way I think it has to line up. It just has to be like, dude, we're gonna guarantee you some money. We want to give you some guarantees in your pocket. Let's say hypothetically we gave him 14 million more guaranteed. Hey, we're gonna push it into this year and next year. But this year, and the next year. But that 2027 season, we have to be able to get out of that contract. And if we can get to that agreement, like, we know that you want it longer than that, but we at least have to have the flexibility to get out of it, right? Doesn't mean we will, but we have to have the flexibility to do it. Because I think if that flexibility is not there, I could see where Lions just can't find a path to make it make sense. But like, I don't know how we line this thing up. We just have to have flexibility within how we do this. If he's cool with that, I think a deal gets done. So ultimately, I think a deal will get done. This question's off topic, but I know you could break it down. Okay. When Eagles were rushing 4 all game, where was the fifth lineman? So if you're like, do you mean like on the field? Is that what you mean? I think what you're saying is like, what? So if you're rushing 4, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a fifth lineman. It would just be that you're not blitzing. Anytime you bring 5 or more, you're blitzing. So that can come from anywhere. Typically, teams don't play 5-man fronts. Typically, I think Philly ran a 4-3 last year. Typically, teams don't play 5-man fronts, so that's actually kind of rare to see that unless you get just matchups like that where teams come out in those kind of packages. So that would just essentially apply that whether they had 4 down on the line, maybe they only had 3 on the line. Sometimes they may have only had 1 on the line, but it just meant that they never blitzed. They never brought in an extra player because 5 or more is considered a blitz. So that's the big thing there. I think that they typically have 4 down linemen. I think they typically do because they'll have Nolan Smith, and they would have had Milton Williams, who is rotational. They would have had Jalen Carter, and they would have had, sometimes they put Jordan Davis in there, and they would have had, was it Sweat last year? I think that's what they typically do. So it just means that they didn't blitz anybody last season, because they can win up front. and Chiefs' offensive line was garbage. It's actually like a great plan against them because Philadelphia's strength as a team was, I mean, they have a nice defensive front. I think it's a very good front. I don't think it's like the best front in football, but it's very good. But Chiefs' offensive line was a disaster. So I think for them, it was just like, it makes more sense than sending bodies. I don't think it's the only way to do it, but they felt comfortable doing that because that was the Chiefs' biggest weakness. They couldn't pass protect. And I think what happened, if I remember correctly, is like those the Nolan Smiths, the Sweat, like those guys that are good players, especially Nolan Smith, he's a good player. Those guys torched those tackles because it was like, hey, they don't even have to be the best edge rushers. They're just good players, and they're going to torch these guys because these tackles for Kansas City, they don't match up at all. So they almost felt like there's no need to bring extra guys. That's all that was. Is that hopefully that I may have answered that wrong. I couldn't really figure out if I answered that wrong. Let me know. I'll try to go again there. I didn't even think about what would happen if J-Mo had a better season than Hutch. If J-Mo had a better season than Hutch this year, hey man, I don't know. He might, bro. I mean, his own category. It's possible. Hutch and the Durex more concerning than the leg sleeve. Okay. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. We don't know what his haircut looks like. He might need that. Dude. Come on now. 30 of 32 second-round draft picks remain unsigned. That's crazy. Tate and the rest of the second round want their money guaranteed. Interesting how it works out. Yeah, so they said that I saw the Shamar Stewart thing, like the little details within the contracts. That's a nut stat. 30 of 32 Want the money guaranteed. I feel like most of those will get done, but that is interesting. It almost feel like that would be like a one of those copycat effects, right? Where one guy gets it, now everybody else is kind of like, oh, you got to do it too, and it kind of changes the way things are done. Is like if who's willing to break first, basically? Because what were the other two? Were the other two guaranteed like that? Because if they weren't, like, I just wonder, like, if they were, then it kind of puts, like, oh, I'm not going to be the guy to fold to this and just let this happen. I'm not concerned about our deals getting done, but that's a super interesting stat. We may have to look into that more. That's interesting. Hutch and a do. Oh, I already read that. Hutch coming back with a do-rag on, reminding everybody that he's him. The Tigers won. I saw they were down 3-0. So that was a comeback, right? They're rolling, man. They got winning again. They got going, and Brad we trust. I like it. Hutch wearing the do-rag in the game. Okay, this is all about Hutch's do-rag. That's crazy. But let's run this back. What up? Did he come out in that? Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, yeah. Now, he looked kind of slick, though. It also may have been chilly, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh, let me keep my head warm a little bit. You know what I mean? Or it was like, maybe he just like, yeah, I don't know how to explain this one. I'll be honest with you. Yo, Monty looks huge, by the way. Like, yo, this dude, I don't know if he usually looks like this. This dude looks massive, bro. Does he usually look like this? This dude was hitting the weight room like crazy. Dude looks like a straight fullback. Look at this dude. Not like a running back. This dude's not shaking anybody. I mean, he will, but it doesn't look like he's going to. Okay. Because a deal is a deal. I get it though. Like I think just sports are different. I think NFL is different. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think it's like a normal contract. First off, the money's ridiculous. So there's that. But like I hear what you're saying. Like you signed the deal, play through the deal, that kind of thing. And we'll see. Like it hasn't got to that extent. Like he's not going to show up to this stuff, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think he'd show up even if he didn't get a deal. I think he'd play without a deal this year. I think he would. I don't think he'd pull a Trey Hendrickson. I think those are way different too, because those, especially like with the Hendrickson, like what they told him they would do and then they didn't do, especially when you get to that kind of price range, that's pretty significant. I don't think we're going to see like Alex requested trade or anything like that. As long as nothing like that happens, I think it's clear he wants to be here. I just think it's different, man. I think it's different. The longevity is so short in this. It's like I don't know how to explain it. I just think it's different, but we'll see. I think he'll be here. I think he'll be here this year, and I think he'll be here for next year. But it's fair. I mean, I hear that all the time, and I get it. Like I do get it. There's sometimes where I feel like that too. Who is this? 83? Did I miss that? I think I missed this one. Oh no, that was Zadarius Smith pick. But here's what threw me off about this. If he picked it off, why is he running that way? Like this was throwing me off watching this. It looks like he's running the wrong direction. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's just like reverse because he's picking this. Oh no, he's not. He's running the right way because Hogan's running the. I said Logan. Hogan's running that way. So yeah, I'm not sure where the ball's getting thrown here. Maybe that's the bigger problem. Kyle Allen threw this, but we can tell. I'm not sure where. They were definitely on two different pages here because like this thing was way off, bro. This thing is way off. That was Rocky Sin. That thing was all over the place, bro. Yeah, man, that thing was crazy, bro. Oh man. Look at the toe tap. We see you. Laporta's stash looking crazy too. That guy is like locked in. What I'm saying is, if they did not rush 5 to prevent Holmes from running, then why don't we do that to running quarterbacks? Why don't we only rush 4? I don't know. I don't have like a good like I mean we would blitz just a lot in general. So I don't know that there's I can think on top of my head like how much we blitzed mobile. I mean a lot of quarterbacks are mobile now, but like how much we blitzed Lamar Jackson when we played him versus, other teams. Like I don't know what that would be. I'm trying to remember like because I think you definitely can blitz mobile core. I mean, we blitz Fields a lot, and a lot of times that worked when we blitz Fields. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a good example for you, to be honest. I don't have a good example for you. I just think the thing is they just outmanned them at that spot. They were just too good at that spot, so that's what they did. Plus, they play a lot more zone. So Philadelphia plays a lot of zone coverage too, which their eyes are always going to be on the quarterback, so they can bring 4. They don't really have to rush it as long as they keep that thing contained. They don't really have to throw extra bodies to hurry the process, because if they're going to win anyway, and then they can just keep eyes on the backfield because they're sitting in so much zone, those two things probably correlate much better than if you're playing man. And if you're dominant up front, either way, you're good. But it's like there's already a challenge with that, but because you're not really forcing them anyway if you're only bringing 4. So unless you're like legitimately winning on both sides, you can kind of spill guys into spots. So I think sometimes bringing blitzing against when you're playing man coverage against mobile quarterbacks is actually a good thing because you can force them into certain spots. You get an extra body to just fill a run lane. There's 4 bodies filling is not enough to fill lanes. You know what I mean? So you'd have to have somebody underneath watching. That's not enough to fill every gap. Big year for Laporta. 23 is Rocky Sin, 21 is Amik. I'm happy we slowly went away from using a fullback. Oh, it's coming back, buddy. 20, it's coming back. You know what I mean? It's coming back. We won't have a fullback on the roster. We're going to have one lined up, man. Yeah, we're going to have one lined up in there. But you can't say you didn't love Kabinda. You know what I mean? You can't say you didn't love Jason Kabinda. Come on now. Everybody loved Jason Kabinda. Everybody loved that dude. Hey, man. Eagles played Lamar last year. Did a good job against him, too. Fangio's really good. I mean, Fangio's he's like the founding father of doing everything defensively. Like, everybody takes from Fangio. Now, it's not saying it's always worked. With Miami, it didn't work well. But maybe that was more of a Miami issue than anything. I hope Brad is still looking at Big Z. Like I said, my opinion stays the same on that. I think there's a number they're willing to get to, and I just think that it's here's where we're willing to go. You know, call us if something changes. Like if you're willing to get there, here you go. Otherwise, I don't think anything's gonna move on that. I really don't. I don't think anything's gonna move on that. I don't think anything's gonna move unless you come. And if you do see something, I think you're gonna be like, Zadarius Smith signs 1 year. I don't know, $5 million deal. 1 year, $5 million. Like I think you'd see something surprisingly low like that. Otherwise, I think it's gonna be quiet. And I don't know what Zadarius Smith is getting from other teams. Like maybe he's not getting talk. Maybe he is getting talk from other teams. I don't know. You know, Zadarius Smith has no offers out there, which is possible. I don't think it's there. But if it was possible that there was no interest, he's a guy that also becomes super interesting through the season. Like if he's patient, he's not rushing into a deal. He doesn't have a lot of interest. He's not getting dollar amounts that are like what he thinks. Like if the Lions, let's say the Lions say, hey, we'll give you 1 year, $4 million. That's where we're willing to go. And he's not getting dollar amounts that are like significantly higher. And he's just like trying to be patient and hold out for that. That could be a guy even during the season that could make sense where it's like, okay, and at this point, I just want to play somewhere and see what we can do. And then it just happens. He makes a lot of sense from that perspective that it would take some time. I don't know. Like I feel like if the Lions have a number out there, it's going to take time for something to happen. Because if they gave him like, hey, here's how far we're willing to go, and it's not a great number, but this is what we're willing to do, we'll leave that out there, and you can kind of come back to us if you want to have a conversation on that. If that's the case and that's how it went down, I assume that's kind of how it went down. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because I don't think that for his sake, there's a reason to rush into that. You know what I mean? Because if he's looking for the dollar amount, there's no reason to rush into that. I might as well be patient. I can always fall back on kind of that idea that that's there. It's there for me. So I don't know. I think if something happens, it'll be down the road. That could happen during the season. Could happen before the season. May just not happen at all. I honestly don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be re-signed as of now. But I don't see why that process would be rushed. Like from his perspective, it makes no sense to jump on a deal quick with the Lions of like, hey, yeah, 1 year, $4 million. Let me jump on that. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, what? If anything, all waiting does is improve the stock to me of Zadarius Smith, because teams always need pass rushers. Like that's one of those positions where it's like, dude, you don't have to be here. Your main element of your game is rushing the passer. I mean, teams could sign you just for third downs. You're not horrible against the run, but that's not your thing. You rush the passer. So it's like there's his value, I think, just goes up by players getting injured, to be honest with you. I mean, if anything, you could think maybe his value goes down if guys show out for teams and it's like, oh, we actually feel comfortable with this guy. That'd be the only way. But it might be more likely that his value just rises as we get closer to the season, as the season kicks off. So I think we're gonna wait. Teams would rather not have him. He's like a last resort guy. Like he can get after it though. Like he legitimately can get pressure. I don't think that he's like he can legit get pressure. I think that guy has value in a lot of places because I said if you just sign him to as a pass rusher, there's value there. He's just being patient, looking for the right number, I'm assuming. Like, I mean, and maybe, you know, if we want to look on the optimistic side, he's gotten better offers than the Lions, but he's like, it's not enough to make me like, I want to leave Lions. Like, I'd still hang on to this idea. Like, I'd still hang on to this thought. Like, it's got to be much more than what the Lions are offering. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. Von Miller 1-year deal. Now, I had to be excited about that. I don't know how cheap he'd go, but he's historically been willing to go pretty cheap. I'd be willing to do that. Like, I'd be willing to take that swing. Von Miller would be a lot of fun during the season. Like, if you got to like around the deadline, or I don't know, somewhere in that path where you could sign him during the season, that would be ideal, right? Because it's like, all right, we didn't have to have you along the whole ride. Hopefully that minimizes the chance of you getting hurt again. And then we just signed you like now because we need you, because you want a very friendly deal. You got a very specific role. Just go. I would have a lot of fun with signing Von Miller. I would almost bet, though, Von Miller doesn't sign with anybody until like I would almost bet he signs during the season with somebody. Someone will sign him as the season's rolling along. He's a good player, man. And it's like, he's a good player. He's a good player, man. You know, but we just don't know his, you know, we don't know his motives. That's the big thing, right? There's always two sides to things. We don't know what he wants. We don't know what he's looking for. If HW leaves Detroit, he has to turn in cash down. If HW leaves Detroit, he has to turn in cash down. Who is HW? Leaves Detroit, he has to turn in. I don't know who that is. Gibson 0 is so clean. No, that is tough. Oh, that is tough. Gibson 0 is tough. It looks like a video game player kind of. 26 is tough too. See, that's I don't hate that, because it's like the Okuda when he had what was he, 20? What was he as a rookie? Okuda had a weird number as a rookie. Wasn't he 30? I like those. Like, I think that's a way cooler number though. Like, it's like, oh, that's clean. I like the initial number. So I think it's cool that like you have like the 1 year weird year, and it's like, what number is he wearing? And then they like get their numbers after that. To have that, like, if you had that jersey, like, that's a fire jersey to still hang on to. I think that's still clean. Like, you were there from day one. I bet Z Smith was a 2-year contract. That's very possible. That's very possible. And I don't think we'd give that to him. If that's what it is, I definitely don't think anything's getting done. You know, I don't know if anybody's willing to give him a 2-year deal, but I don't think we'd give him 2 years. I think we are very poured into it's going to be a 1-year contract if it happens. Yo, how you feeling? I'm feeling good, Boom. I'm feeling really good, man. Happy we got the Alex video out today. That was good. It's coming. I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, you know, OTAs are rolling. We ain't got much from it, but like, we here. We're getting close, man. Less than 100 days. It's crazy that we have the first preseason game. I'd be thinking about that. Like, yo, we're probably not that far away. We're not that far away from a preseason game. Preston Smith. Didn't he get let go? Like, wait, did he get let go, or did his contract just ended? I think his contract just ended, but he was like a 7th round pick or something. Man, there was people were people were fired up when that happened. Like, he's about to change the Steelers defense, bro. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Has Preston Smith still got it like that? Preston used to be a problem, bro. Dude used to be a problem. Is he still a problem? I feel like he wasn't a problem. Well, he definitely wasn't with Green Bay, but I don't know if he was with Pittsburgh. He definitely wasn't with Green Bay. He wasn't even playing with Green Bay, so that made sense. Did he do work though with Pittsburgh? Cut down Christmas. Oh goodness, I read that wrong. Cut down day is like going secondary Christmas shopping. No, that's real. That's real. That's real. What did he do with the Pittsburgh? He had 8 pressures with the Steelers. 8 pressures, and he played 160 snaps. Okay. And I'm wrong with that. You know, it's okay. I still think DeMarcus Walker's interesting. Like, we had that visit with him. He's another one where it's like you could let this thing shake out. I think Walker would sign on a very cheap contract for the Lions. I think he'd sign a 1-year deal with the Lions if he doesn't get calls elsewhere. He may have other calls elsewhere, may have other conversations. I think DeMarcus Walker would still be a great fit for us. I still hold out that would make a lot of sense. I think both timelines would align for both guys there. I think his fit makes a lot of sense. I think the price range would make a lot of sense. I think and I think he'd be a very good just schematic fit for us. The versatility would be great. I think too, like looking at like Pat O'Connor and stuff, like let's see how that shakes out, see what they bring to the table. But if the Lions weren't like overly blown away with what they get out of some of these, Muhammad, seeing if he takes the next step, because Muhammad's like we talk about, He's a massive part, man. Muhammad had some dominant games. Any other games where he was super quiet, but he finished the season pretty strong. If guys aren't like taking that next step, they feel like I think he'd be a great addition right before the season. What is the top dollar amount for a 1-year deal? Top dollar amount for a 1-year D end. Like the top dollar amount I'm willing to pay, or are you saying just like for any DN? For any DN, it's 1 year. Top dollar amount I think they would pay is like I don't know, but I think it'd be close to like $4 million. I'd be close to like $4 million to be willing to pay somebody. I think that's the top end. And it'd probably be Zadarius. Wide receiver depth. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed something. Roy Lopez. Are you man, I can't read. Roy Lopez. Are we going to see anything at all? I think he's going to be huge this year. I compared Roy Lopez to, well, first off, nose tackle depth is a key for this team. And they've gotten a lot stronger there. We did a video on Roy Lopez. So that's up, Steve, if you want to check that out. I've also if you check out the video we did on Casey Rogers, I had like some comparisons for Roy Lopez. I think we've seen Roy Lopez types in a lot of our Casey Rogers defenses in the past. So I think Roy Lopez is going to be very important. I think he's going to be like a upgrade over Chris Smith, but playing about 20 snaps a game as a young player. I think I'm still sticking to this prediction. I've been wrong many times. I think Roy Lopez gets an extension with the Lions. There's another guy on a 2-year, $6-7 million deal. I think he signs like somewhere 2 years, $8 million, something like that after this season to be the backup. Because he does have flexibility too. Like he can play outside the guard. I think he signs on a deal like that after this year. I don't think he'll ever be the starter here, like ideally, but I think that he'll have like a 15 to 25 snaps a game, somewhere in that range consistently. And I think he'll end up signing an extension for a very reasonable price, but just as that like kind of a core piece, like just a kind of like a John Kaminsky, just in a John Kaminsky role, but in a different body type. That's my guess for him. What's your top? Because he's not like an elite rusher, but he can add a little juice there, more so than we had. We didn't really have any juice from our interior defensive line rushers when Aleem got hurt. So we'll add a little bit of juice there. And then, like, to me, he's just an upgrade over Chris Smith. He's got more size and some flexibility. Like, some of those guys wouldn't move around at all. He can jump around a little bit. Kind of thin after the starters, Tesla and Raymond, but that about it. So I think wide receiver depth is the deepest that it's been with the Lions. Like, I think we have 6 legitimate potential locks. And I think that's kind of like, and because usually, like, comparison to what we usually sign receivers right before the season. I mean, go back to the beginning, it was Josh Reynolds, but then you go to Tony Benson on the trade. You go back to last year, it was Tim Patrick. We've had, and I want to see Tim Patrick, by the way, in these one-on-ones. I forgot to bring that up. I'd love to see Tim Patrick and see if he can get open. Like, I want to see this guy deal with cornerbacks one-on-one. I want to see what that looks like and see if he gets better there. But, like, the depth to me is in a spot where we won't have to sign anybody at receiver. It'll be a competition. Can all the rookies make the team? I think Ronnie Bell is a really strong competition piece. People like the UDFAs that we've gotten. I think this is the deepest it's been. I think this is a fantastic depth. William Golston, now there's a connection too. DJ Reed, yeah, DJ Reed gonna be fun to watch. I hope they're avoiding to be versatile with him, man, because he should never leave the field. We do still have Tim Patrick. We do still have Tim Patrick. They had him on one of these clips here. He was the dude with no gloves on. Where's he at? I think he's toward the end. Yeah, right here. Wait, that ain't Tim Patrick. Hold up. That ain't Tim Patrick. Wait, was that Tim Patrick? Wait. I'm looking at that. That don't look like him, but there he is. Wait. Hold up. Is he 12? Tim Patrick rocking 12? That looks like Tim Patrick. Actually, I just assumed that was him by looking at it. I don't know. Did he change his number? Let me see. Yeah, he's 12. Okay, yeah, that is him. Okay, he did change his number. I didn't know he changed his number. All right. No, the 12 slick. I rock with the slick. With the slick. Stop. I rock with the number. All right. Silent but deadly. Our third safety role gonna be a battle. Super battle. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Maddox. But yeah, that whole position is gonna be fun. William Golston will be cheap. See that? Yeah, that's not a bad one. He's not taking Martin's spot. He's giving it to him. Okay. That's crazy. Hey, Martin's going to be a problem. We all need to stop sleeping on Martin, bro. Y'all need to stop sleeping, bro. Y'all need to stop. Martin's about to come out here and go crazy this year. We're going to be talking about Martin a lot. Y'all just wait. Bro. Martin makes me think of, like, I was watching that Philadelphia Eagles draft. I've watched like twice now. It's fun to watch. Lions, drop yours, please, if you have one. But like, yo, the Martin like makes me think of what the Eagles did. It's like can he become a starter? I still think Broderick Martin's the body type to be a starter in the NFL. I still think he's got that in his game. I still think he has plays that look like a starter. It's just not there every play. I'm not off the Broderick Martin train yet. I'm still believing. Do I think he's going to make the team right now? No. If I had to guess, no, I don't think he makes the team. But I'm not giving up. I'm not counting him out yet. Not counting him out yet. I'm definitely going to clip that. Look, man, it's like, I don't know. Maybe they can't post one because like there's like, they can't like show the clips on there. Maybe, they probably have some limitations on what they can do. So maybe they don't have like the right clips to make a video. But yo, the Bears dropped theirs yesterday, I think. It was horrendous, by the way. not the video production, just I didn't like watching. Like it wasn't fun. There was no energy. It looked like they were falling asleep every pick. I mean, it was like, yo, are you guys happy you're making draft picks? Or are you guys sad? Like I couldn't tell what was going on. And the Rams were fired up. The Bears looked like they were about to cry every pick, but the video production was very good. But seeing that, I'm like, all right, Lions, it's our time. It's our time. Like this is what people are waiting for. You know what I mean? Maybe get us back on Hard Knocks. Do what you got to do. People are waiting for this. Smith to a 2-year deal, $8.4 million is cool. 2 years, $8.4 million. I'm not mad at that number. I would be fine with that number, actually. I'd be fine with that number. I don't think the Lions will give him multiple years. I think that's the problem. But I would be fine with that number. 9 no dome games, Dose. 9. What are your thoughts? Oh, okay. No. Oh, you're saying there's no dome games this year? Wait. 9 no dome games. What are your thoughts? Wait, hold on. Okay, I don't know what that means. 9 no domes games. 9. 9 what? Like week 9? Lions media won a few awards and they switched up on us. Yo, they kill it though. They do be killing it. And they popped off. They popped off when they started going crazy. They started winning. They went crazy. They deserve those awards, but they, now they're making us wait for it. And they're like, eh. Oh, 9 outside games. 9 outside games. Got you. All right, wait, let me pull this up. It's interesting because last year was like almost all dome games. It's interesting. Okay, so Packers on the road will be outside, but that's week 1, so I'm good about that. Baltimore, which is week 3, that's good. It's early. Cincinnati on the road, that'll be interesting. October 5th. It still should be okay though. Still should be okay. Chiefs on the road, October 12th. Well, the good thing is a lot of these are early. Like, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the road within the first 7 games. And then you have Commanders. Are the Commanders indoor? No, Commanders are indoor, are they? No, the Commanders are outside. That's November 9th. That'll be interesting. Philly, November 16th. Then we got a lot of home games. Rams on the road. I guess that's kind of a dome. Vikings on the road. So the only one really at the end is really from after the Eagles game. There's really only one outside game, right? There's Chicago on the road at the end of the year. That's it. Now that's kind of normal for us. So I would say at least it lines up good, where at least a lot of those games are early. But yeah, like I do wonder about that. Like that's usually the thought. But man, it feels like we actually sometimes we actually benefit from terrible weather. Like at least, yeah, that's a great point. Like last year, it seemed like we were the beneficiary of garbage weather, which is not usually how we think about it, but that's because we couldn't play defense in the past. We also couldn't run the ball at all. We legit could not run the football in the past. I was watching an old draft thing, and they're like, the Lions haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 3 years. That's crazy now, bro. That's crazy now. That doesn't even sound right. But, like, take me back, man. 3 years? Man, we couldn't run the ball at all. It's actually sometimes beneficial. So, if anything, at least it's early. The Philly one could be rough, November 16th. But after that, it's all indoor, or it's good weather, or it's Chicago at the end of the season. Let's hope this year we won't have 9. Yeah, come on. Let's only have 3. Wow, that's crazy. That's a good stat. Only Chicago late outdoors, I think. That's it, man. And he was throwing dots all season. Come on now. I mean, this could be a big year, bro. It's gonna be a big year. I'm fired up. Because it's actually kind of fun, I think, to change it up a little bit. I was thinking about this. Like, you have the same coordinators, you have an expectation, what it's gonna look like. But all of a sudden, now things get shifted a little bit. It's kind of fun. It's like, what is this going to look like now? How's the offense going to look different? What unexpected things are we going to be like mind blown by? Like, whoa, I didn't expect to see that. Like, oh, they're trying that. I think we're going to see a lot of that, and we'll just be able to enjoy it. You know, there'll be some rough spots, but it'll be fun, man. It'll just be fun. Just it'll be just like walking into the beginning of Ben Johnson. Like, what is this going to look like? Feels like it's going to be like that. Like, it's not going to change maybe significantly, but just the idea of something being different is kind of cool. Bears have never had a quarterback throw 4,000 yards. Caleb would do it. Yeah, I mean, he should. If he doesn't, that's a problem. Bro, if he doesn't, I don't know what they're gonna do if he doesn't, bro. But I don't know. Ben's gonna get fired. Caleb's gonna get traded, bro. Something's gonna go down. Something's gonna go down. Their GM's probably gone. If he doesn't have 4,000 yards, they drafted Colston Loveland and Luther Burden on top of what they already have, bro. He better throw for 4,000 yards. He better, dog. Or he better have 1,500 yards rushing. What? Or 1,000. What do you expect week 2 against the Bears? Week 2 against the Bears at home. Expect crazy energy. Expect a lot of booing for Ben Johnson. I expect some fireworks, bro. Like I would think like that game, Lions will try to really like control the ball, and they're gonna try to get Caleb to make like a bad mistake, and they're gonna just try to be they're just gonna try to like win the turnover battle. Like that'll be the focus. Like can we get them to make one, and we just control this thing? We kind of just methodical offense. You know what I'm saying? Like let's make this a 28-21 win. Like let's make it that game, and they're gonna throw some fireworks. Like they're gonna have early trick plays, no question. And the first play might be like a flea flicker, try to take a shot. Something goofy will come out immediately for Ben Johnson. If Ben wins the toss, I wouldn't be surprised if he elected to receive that game. So I'm fired up for that. I'm definitely fired up for that. With 2 joint practices and 4 preseason games. 4 preseason games is wild. Ben Johnson getting booed out of stadium. He's definitely gonna get booed. Well, am I sick of the Bears repeating 6 years undefeated offseason champs? Hey, bro. Hey, they're consistent though. That's the good thing, right? Like, who else does that? You know, they're out here cooking. Like hey, respect. Hats off to the Bears, bro. They're out here handling business. Dennis Allen is a great DC. Oh shoot. You know, that brought me back, man, to those defensive coordinator videos. I think that's gonna be a good fit for them. I think it'll be good. I think it'll make sense. It'll be I think it'll be easy for Ben Johnson to kind of latch on to that. And he has done a good job as a defensive coordinator. You know, he's made it his. I think that's the big thing. It'll be his defense. I think Caleb Williams will be good if he stops painting his nails and wearing purses. Okay. All right. On that, I think it's a good spot to end it. Hey, I appreciate y'all joining, man. And again, look, I don't know if they're still here, but man, Connor Long. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Okay, that's not it. My man KV Alto came in with the 10-piece, bro, showing crazy love. So shout to KV Alto with the 10 gifted memberships, bro. He probably got some of y'all in the chat right now. Also, shout to my man Connor Long, who does Jets content. I saw him on TikTok. I think it was yesterday when I just started the TikTok. And he came in here, bro. He dropped a membership, and then he became a member. Connor Long is out here cooking, man. You know what I mean? So shout to Connor Long, bro. If y'all want some Jet stuff. And look, I've gotten into this. I've started watching just other teams' content just for fun in the background. Because it's just something different. You talk about different things. I watch a lot of these other teams, especially that division. So, you know, if y'all are looking for something, man, that's the spot. And then, I'm not saying KV Alto, he don't drop content, but shout to KV Alto showing tons of love. And then Visionary Roar went crazy. Y'all all went crazy today. I mean, KV Alto dropping 10 memberships is absolutely nuts, by the way. Like, he's done this, and it's not the first time. He's probably done this about 3 times where he's came in and just dropped crazy memberships. So KV Alto's doing like way too much, bro. But I appreciate it, man. Like that's nuts. That's actually nuts. That's crazy. And yeah, Visionary Roar came in and dropped 5 2-pieces. 5-2. I thought it was glitched. But we're gonna take that right to McDonald's, dog. Spend all of that. No, I'm playing. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. With that, I think we're good here. You do a really good job. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for the membership gift. Yes. Shout out to those guys, man. I watch a lot of teams' content. See, that's what I've been doing recently too. Just listening, just hearing what they're talking about. And I want to see Iffy with the Dolphins. Like, they're sleeping on Iffy. I'm like, yo, Iffy's a good player, bro. I'm like, Iffy's a good player. Iffy's a starter. Like, y'all got to back me up. Like, Iffy's legit if he's on the field. They're not fired up about it. Well, we need a safety. I'm like, TD, you don't need a safety. You guys got Iffy. Iffy's that dude. Like, he's a good player, man. Do you live stream during regular season games? I do. I do live stream during regular season games. We'll probably do it again this year. I don't know how many games, but typically, yeah, typically we do. I watch, and we got to change some things up this year. Like, that's one big thing is, I was watching some of our old draft stuff. We used to have like multiple mics that were like hot, and we just had better audio, I think, set up. And I think that this year we need to make some tweaks, get back to running some of our commercials, which are hilarious. We got to get back to doing some of those. Need some extra content thrown in, maybe some games too. And also, speaking of games, there was this thing that I wanted to do before we get out of here. There was I saw a quiz. There was a Lions quiz. I don't know what this is, but Pride of Detroit had this. I saw it on, I think it was their X page. And it was like a 5-question quiz. And I think you can play it. So I wanted to try it. The goal of the game is to guess correct Lions player with help of 5 clues. Mix in both active and retired players. After you correctly guess player, you click share results. Okay. All right, we're gonna play this game. I've never done one of these. We're gonna play this game. Let's do this. All right. Welcome to SB Nation. In 5 daily trivia games. So I guess they do these daily. Okay. Start game. Let's go, man. We got to guess the player. Here we go. Offensive tackle. Wait, I can guess every time? What if I do it, I get it wrong? Do I lose? Won't be easy to figure out 1 or 2 guesses, but some you may be able to nail it. I don't want to guess now because I don't want to be out of the game if I guess. All right. Some offensive tackle. Okay. That could be so many players. I'm gonna. Oh, okay. I guess I have to guess. Okay. All right. I guess I have to guess. Let me just throw it. I'm gonna go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do our guy. I'm blocking myself on the screen though here. Let me go. My guy Lomas Brown. Lomas Brown. Let me get this on the first try. Come on. No. Okay. First round pick in the 2010s. Okay. So without cheating, without cheating, I'm gonna do horrible at this because I don't know. I don't know the early 2010s, bro. I don't know the early 2010s. I know Decker was. So I'm gonna go Decker, but this is gonna be a disaster. I can already tell. I'm gonna go Tiller Decker. 2016. Was 2017? He was pick 16. It's not Decker. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know. All right. All American at Iowa. All American at Iowa. Yikes, bro. I have no clue, dude. I have no clue. First round tackle out of Iowa. This had to be early, man. Decker was the only tackle we haven't taken an offensive tackle in the first round since Decker. Not someone from Iowa. Is it a tackle? Yeah, offensive tackle. Okay. Offensive tackle from Iowa. Dude, in the first round, I have no shot. I honestly don't even have a name. I don't even have a name. How do I do this without cheating? I have no clue. Yeah. I don't know. Y'all throw some names, bro. I'm about to just start typing stuff. I have no idea. I don't know where to go with this. 2000. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know those drafts, man. I don't know those drafts. The first draft I've watched like the old drafts, but not that. Riley Reef. Let's see if I got it right. I got it right, dog. You know what I mean? I knew that, bro. I was just playing with y'all, man. That was easy. Yeah, that was easy, bro. To be honest with y'all. I gotta, is there another one of these? Let me see. All right. Look, man. Let's do another one. Y'all need to stop, man. Let's do another one. What is going on my screen? Okay. All right. Here we go. Running back. Got you. Okay, running back. Kevin Jones. Kevin Jones, man. Kevin Jones. All right, cool. First round pick of the 2000. I'm cooked, bro. All right, we shouldn't have done this. Nah, we shouldn't have done this, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. We shouldn't have done this in the 2000s. What? All right. I'm going to go. Oh, boy, this is a problem. I'm going to go Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, not a first-round pick, bro. No shot. We're doing it anyway. Play for the Saints. Wait. Saints, Dolphins, 49ers, Bills, well. That's not Red. No. Reggie Bush was in the 2000s? All right. No, I didn't cheat on this one. Legit. I didn't cheat. I did not cheat. Y'all did say it. But when I saw Saints and Dolphins, Reggie Bush came to mind. The problem is, I didn't know that was in the 2000s. Man, it doesn't seem that long. I guess we signed him when he was really old. We signed when he was old, right? We signed him in 2013. I didn't know, dude. I wouldn't have. Honestly, I don't know. What year was he drafted? Like 07 or something? That's crazy. I didn't think he was that old, man. Shout out to Reggie Bush. Now, I'm going to take the W for that one. I definitely didn't know the first one. I'm taking the W for that one, though. All right, let's do another one. We got one more? Okay, cornerback. Wow, this is all over the place. Stop. Oh, my goodness. Okay, cornerback. Here we go. Let's go Rasheed Mathis. I'm going to go Mathis so we can get this thing popping. Bam. Third-round pick in the 2000s. Dre Bly. No. 4 interceptions in 71 games. 4 interceptions in 71 games over 5 seasons. In the 2000s. Okay, so that's not that long of a, T. Sabor, Shefukuda. No, this isn't that long of a stint, though, right? Like, this is 2000 to 2009. Are they saying the entire 2000s? Or are they saying 2000 to 2009? If they're saying the entire 2000s, that changes things for sure. I gotta just go with who would have. And he was a 3rd-round pick. Oh boy, Glover Quinn. Ooh, that's interesting. Glover Quinn played corner in college. 4 interceptions in 71 games. I'm cooked, bro. I'm cooked. I don't know. I have no idea. I threw Rasheed Mathis in there. That was wrong. I'm assuming it's talking like 2000, 2009. Yeah, I'm not good on my history, clearly. This is a problem. This is a very big problem. I feel like I want to cheat. Jim Hardy. All right, I got you. I'm going to put that in there for you. Jim Hardy. Drafted out of McNeese State. Who in the world? Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea where we're going. With this, bro. See, y'all saying names, though, that I don't think were in the 2000s. I don't think those names are in the 2000s, man. McNeese State. Spivey? Amari Spivey? He might have been in the 2000s, but he was here in like 2012. I don't know if he was here before that. Let's try it. Played for the 49ers. Oh, my goodness, man. No. This is crazy. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's got to be like a who is that? Oh, he's a 3rd-round pick though. They're drafted. Yo, I have no clue, bro. I have no idea. Bro. I'm just gonna. I have no idea. I'm gonna put Cassius Vaughn in here. Cassius Vaughn. Dang. Keith Smith. No idea who that is. All right, is there more? I want to do one more. I have no. What the heck is that, bro? All right, here we go. Dude, why is this thing all glitchy? Okay, linebacker. What in the world? All right, linebacker. Here we go. This is going to be Spielman. So, they had to give us an easy one. So we'll get 1 out of 1 here. Bam. Nope. 5th-round pick in. Ooh, okay. We might have a shot. 5th-round pick in the 2010s, not by the Lions. 5th-round pick. Let me think. It would have been not by the Lions. That's what's throwing me off. 5th-round pick. Who is a late Tahir Whitehead? That seems like a 5th-round pick. All Pac-12 at USC. Y'all saying Levy? If it's Bill Bentley, I'm leaving. Oh, Bill Bentley's a classic. Levy Dyson. Okay. 5th round pick. Not by the Lions. DeAndre Levy's a 5th round pick? I didn't know he played at USC, so I'm gonna throw your guess in there. Okay, 14 sacks and 30 starts. Oh, I know who it is. No, I don't. Wait, I think I do. Is it Kelvin Shepard? Yo, Kelvin Shepard ain't no 14 sacks. All right, y'all. Act like y'all didn't see that. Nah, Jared Davis. Wait, you talking about Jared Davis? Jared Davis, Florida. I was hyped too. All right, Giants. Oh, he played for the Giants. Giants, Cardinals, Ravens. Who in the world, bro? This is a disaster. We should not have started this. This is so bad. Okay, linebacker in the 5th round. Giants, Cardinals, Ravens. Okay, let me think. Chris Board. That can't be right. There's no way. Chris Board didn't have 14. Yo, no, bro. Okay, it's got to be 14 sacks. Like, bro had to be a straight pass rusher. Who in the world had 14? Kennard. Oh, that's a good pull. That makes sense. Devon Kennard. Wow. Dude, I wasn't even thinking that. I'm thinking off ball this whole time. That makes sense. That's a good pull, man. All right, we got another one here. These are fun. I like this. Give me more 2010 stuff, though. Don't do this 2000 stuff. We're cooked if you do that. Wow, this thing is messed up. Tight end. Okay, stop it. Let's go Ebron. Ebron was Ebron. All right. Oh goodness, now we're cooked, man. I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. Hutchinson. Oh my goodness. Dan Campbell. Wait, is this Dan Campbell? College at Wake Forest. Fourier. Yo, I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. Oh man, they went to the 90s and it's over. It's over, man. Who is like the guy at tight end? You know, who's the guy back in the day at tight end for the Lions? Yeah, that doesn't explain anything. All right, we're cooked, man. I'm just gonna Fourier. There you go. Joseph Fourier. Primarily a blocker. David Sloan. I don't know who that is, but we're gonna do it. David Sloan. Cook. No. Walter Rasby. Yeah, that was not gonna happen. That was not gonna. Lions are drafting anyone. Walter Rasby. Who thought Steven, if you had that right, bro, it's crazy. All right. Stop. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I have a great feeling about this one. Corey Fuller. Come on. Ooh. Brett Perriman. Oh! Yo! We cooked. Come on, man. Look, man, that was the first one I took serious. To be honest with you. You know what I mean? The other ones I was just playing around. That was legit. I locked in. That's why I got that one. You know what I mean? More than receiving yards. Some was the 1st round pick. Come on, Brashad. What? Hey, you know, oh man. Hey, that was clean. I'm glad we did that. We should end it there. But we're gonna do one more. Because yeah, that was fire. That was good. That was a good swing. I wouldn't have had many more guesses, to be honest with you. So I'm glad that was right. All right. Let's do another one. I gotta also. Why is my internet connected? Let me disconnect real quick. Let me see what that does. All right, we should be good now. All right, here we go. Tight end. Oh boy, did we just do this one? Yo, y'all remember we had Will? Was it Will Heller? Yeah, Will Heller. Okay, that's. Ooh. Oh, okay. Stop playing. It's Ebron. Is that Hawkinson? Oh wait, or is that Pettigrew? No, Pettigrew is more than 4 seasons. All right, bro. Come on, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, dude. This is what we need. We need more of this. More of these questions. More of these, man. We're actually doing work right now. Now we're cooking. Now we're on a heater. Let's keep running, bro. Let's just keep running. Should have been Joe. Yeah, they got to get one of Joe on here. All right, running back. Oh boy, running back's been a problem. I'm gonna go back to Kevin Jones, man. Kevin Jones just sounds right. I think I had a Kevin. Was it Kevin Smith? I think I had a Kevin Smith jersey. I think I had both. Kevin Jones. All right, 4th round pick. Out by the Lions. Wait, was that Kevin Smith? Oh, dude, there's no way. Okay. Oh, out of BYU. Oh, Jamal. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah. Hey, chat. We're cooking now. Yeah, man. They just had to get back in my era. They're just not in my era, man. Loves anime. See, that's actually a good clue. They could have gave that. I like that clue. It's a good one. Okay. Now we're feeling ourselves a little bit. We're about to spoil all of these games, by the way. So I apologize if you don't want to see the answers. Please do not watch. About to spoil all of these, bro. I think it's glitchy as heck, man. What the? All right, defensive end. Defensive end. Okay, I'm thinking we got to go Cliff Averill. You know what I mean? Stay in my era. Come on now. No. Oh boy, undrafted in the 2000s. Okay. Undrafted in the 2000s. Vanden Bosch didn't get drafted. No shot. Okay, he might have. Second team All Big Ten at Michigan. Was there a long? No. At Michigan. Y'all saying Ziggy. Ziggy was a 1st round pick. Michigan. Who would be undrafted out of Michigan? Oh man. I don't think I'm gonna get this one. I'm not yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think like end of the 2000s who I can come up with. Oh, that's crazy. I'm trying to think. And who can I come up with in the? No, this is a problem, man. This is a real problem. Okay, let's go Jones. Jones was not from Michigan, bro. No, bro. This is Hutchinson's dad. Oh, God. Okay, Hutchinson's dad. Oh my goodness, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna throw this random guess out here. Let's go Aiden Hutchinson. All right. That's wrong. Started 67 games, 33 sacks. This guy was cooking. Yo, this guy was good. Who would have been that dude? Who would have been that dude, man? I got no guesses. 2000s is a problem. Hutchinson's dad was not it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna wasn't there a Glover? Just throwing names. Oh, Glover's the center. Okay. All right, let's not go that route. All right, let's throw James Houston in there. See if that's talking a little bit. James Houston. All right. Let's get this. Played for the Rams. Chris did that. James Hall. Yeah, no shot I would have got that. All right, one more, then we're done. No shot I would have got James Hall. All right. Hey, if I would have stuck with the J, though, I might have been able to just click it on accident and get that right. All right, wide receiver. Here we go. Let's get one more in there. Let's go to Stephon Logan. All right, it's not coming up. Hold up. Logan. Stephon Logan. Oh, you spell like that. Okay. Running back. Oh, what? They didn't list as a running back? Hey, my bad. We doing quizzes, man. Oh, goodness. Johnny Morton was a 10th round pick? All right, I'll put Johnny Morton. He was a 10th round pick? Okay. Dude, the 80s? Come on, bro. Oh, man. Oh no, man. That's yeah, we should have ended this earlier, man. We should not have done this. 16 touchdowns in 3 seasons, though. The guy was an impactful player. He was an impactful player. And you were gonna say that? Dude, I don't know. Like I can't even throw names out there in the 80s. I have no clue. Y'all even have names? Like I don't even have names to throw out there. I'm gonna put Herman Moore. Herman Moore. No. Saints and the Dolphins. Hey, if this was recent, about Tommy Lee Lewis. Y'all remember when Tommy Lee Lewis was here? Look, they don't even have Tommy Lee Lewis on here. Clayton. Okay, I don't know who that is, but we're gonna do it. Clayton. Dogs making up people. That's crazy. Okay. Clay Harbor. I remember Clay Harbor. Okay, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's just... oh wait. Didn't we have? No, that would have been it. Antoine Randall L. Okay. Dude, I don't even know what to guess. I have no idea. H D R T. Give me something. Fucci. Robert Clark. Dude, these are fake plate. These are not real people, bro. No, these aren't real people, dog. Robert Clark for real? Not gonna hit me with a Robert Clark? Nah, dude. Nope. All right, one more. Sorry, one more, and then we're done. Jalen Reese-Maben has been fresh in my mind. No. Oh my gosh. Wait, could this have been? No, that would have been the 50s. Chris Spielman, bro. Chris Spielman. First team at Wyoming. Oh, that's easy. It's Logan Wilson, bro. Logan Stenberg. 95 games, 7 seasons. You know what? Let's just skip this one. I don't want to give that answer away. I don't know that one. Let's just skip that one. We want to end on a good note. All right? Just give me one that's kind of in our range, then we can end this thing. Matt Prater. Undrafted. Jason Hanson. Hanson was undrafted, right? No, he was not. 28 field goals. First 2 seasons. Undrafted. Who was that guy we had that was kind of our in between? We had a couple guys that were in between, but we had a guy that held it down. Akers? Lions traded for him. Oh, Riley Patterson. Hey, that's a good way to end it. Okay. My bad, kicker. Why is the screen not reloaded? There it goes. We got it. It just screen stopped loading, man. I don't know. I think they're not having it. They don't like that I'm cheating. I'm not cheating. They don't like that I'm taking all these L's. All right. That being said, man, I appreciate you joining. I will see you guys again soon. Friday at worst. We'll have another episode. We'll have hopefully some good takeaways because we didn't really get any takeaways today. So hopefully that day we get some takeaways. And this. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait till then, man. Appreciate y'all joining though. Shout out to all the people that showed love again. I appreciate it, man. Connor Long, KB Alto, and then my man Vision Stealth or Visionary Roar. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said that. Vision Stealth was a viewer too. Visionary Roar. My bad. I shouldn't have said that. Michael Zubas is in the building. My guy, Clayton. I don't know why I said Clayton. DT Fan Man, Hungry Panda, Mile Marker, Aaron. Appreciate y'all being here. Have a great night, and I will see you guys soon. And yeah, if you haven't seen the Alex Anzalone video, it is out now. So if you want more discussion, Michael, you need to stop, bro. Y'all need to stop, man. You just need to let me end the show, man. I appreciate you with the $1.99. Spam some birthday cakes on your way out. If you could, put a birthday cake in the chat, man. Show some love for the people showing love on here, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, get some birthday cakes in the chat for everybody that showed some love today on your way out. And I will see y'all soon. Appreciate you, Michael. I appreciate you, bro. Hey, man, we got to get back to doing our live watch parties, too. Tell Rad I said hi. I'll tell him that. I will tell Rad you said hi. I told you we're working on some things for a roundtable, right? So stay tuned, man. It just won't. It'll be for the season, but stay tuned. All right, we out of here, man. Appreciate you, Michael. And Michael's doing his own birthday cakes. So DT fan, man. Don't let Michael do that. You can't put your own birthday cakes when you put the 2-piece in here. Mile marker showing love. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. All right, we out of here, man. Have a great night. We can bring some things back this year.